Grown moles. Oh, she called them grown moles. There's some holes in his house. There's some mold in his house. There's some holes in the roof. Man, that's their song. Grown mold, and he ain't mine. I didn't saw that name, man. Grown mold. Grown mold, and he ain't mine. Oh man, love to pretend nothing happening or would happen, but we know better. Wrongdoing catches up. Trust and believe that was facts. Oh man, them names, grown mold. Oh yeah, anti, you swinging tonight? You good? You swinging? Well, the chat lit, not grown. She said grown mold, and man, what? Look at this name, bro. Come on, man. Look, man. Just for a minute, she put grown mold and he ain't mine. What the fuck? Oh man, come on, man. Stop playing, man. Them names, man.
Anti-Afro Svengalis, I thought I'd give us a little bit of humor because we're going to talk about name calling. But first, I'm going to address a preliminary issue before I continue with the main commentary. And shout out to the smoke. I've got to address this issue of name calling. It's, on one hand, it's rather humorous, but I'm going to give you my perspective about it. And unfortunately for demons and freaks and the backstabbers and liars and ingrates, it just doesn't have the impact that they want it to have. But I'm going to talk about my perspective on it. So hold on for that. I hope everybody's enjoying the 3-day weekend. I know I certainly am. There's one thing that's been really at the forefront of my mind, and I have to get it out there. I want to make sure we're all clear about poverty issues and living in conditions that are, in some ways, or let's say in many ways, beyond one's control. And let's even extend it out to regardless of the circumstances. I wanted to make sure that it was clear. There is no connection between living conditions and value system. There is no connection between financial status, wealth, and value system. It's unrelated. And I want to make sure that is made clear. Let me illustrate a point for you. Look on the screen here. I'm going to post articles. If you don't know who this person is, Andrew Luster. Check out what he did. It was horrendous. He is, I don't know if you consider is or was, the heir to the Max Factor cosmetic company. I think they've changed up and are going to be rebranding or something. But Max Factor, as it was, one of the major companies that manufacture makeup, and I think they still operate pretty largely in Europe. He is the heir to this company. And what did he do? He committed the most horrendous crimes that you can imagine against women. It ran the gamut. He was going to inherit all this money. What do you think about his value system? Did having money make his value system upstanding and responsible? No, money has nothing to do with it. It comes down to the decisions that you make. So I wanted to make sure that was clear, because this whole thing about claiming people are poverty shaming, no, there's no poverty shaming. It's about decision making. Deciding to attack people and tear down their life when your life is so much less desirable. And I guess that leads some people to do stuff like that. It's unrelated. You make your own decisions in life, and ultimately those decisions reflect your situation. That's my position on that. Now, I want to revisit a theme that I have brought up before. striking, and I'm not talking about striking when it comes to like channels and stuff like that. I'm talking about striking first. I'm talking about moving party. When I say moving party, who is the person who makes the first move? This is from my perspective, and this is my mode of thinking. I don't make first moves, I don't strike first. So I'm in a position that I consider to be advantageous because when people are striking first at me, it is extremely rare that I will react to them immediately. 98% of the time, I'm going to let the person keep talking and keep talking and keep talking. What is the advantage of me striking back at a person who's making comments about me, disparaging comments, calling me names? What is the point of that? I guess the point of that is trying to figure out how to yank my chain, number one, and number two, if content can be made out of it, if some benefit can be garnered. Because what would be the reason somebody would decide to do something like that? Strike out, call, I'll say me because I'm talking about me specifically, start calling me all these names, and there was no reason for it. Again, I prefer to be in this position. I don't ever want to be in a position where I just came out and started attacking somebody for what? No reason whatsoever. Honestly, people, there is no reason. And I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like there's some mystery. You can address the person whose behavior has been called into question. I'm not under any obligation to react to somebody that's acting extremely immature with name calling. Yes, I can come up with some pretty creative names myself, but my names are like in a different category because that's not how I live life. It doesn't matter what type of conflict or disagreement that I'll have with the family or friend. We can get just very heated, very upset, but we're not going to degrade each other. I mean, just imagine a supposed wife who comes to YouTube to gripe about her husband. I mean, one particular instance, and I'm using this as an example, I'm going to highlight the reason why in a second. We were there in the chat, and the wife starts to complain and says that the husband calls her a white girl. And she was very upset by that. And the supposed husband was shocked that she said it. You could tell he was kind of taken aback. So you kind of have an idea if someone is treating a supposed spouse in this manner, you can pretty much bank on it being a matter of time before it comes out full force on you. This is how people move in life. You can't conceal the way you are. Eventually, it's going to be revealed. Now, if you're just who you are because you're who you are, what's there to reveal? Nothing. This typical degrading of others. What are you expecting that's going to be different? Because they're rocking with people who've degraded them. There's no difference between friend and foe. They expect people they rock with to tolerate this type of degrading behavior. I don't have relationships with family members like that. I don't have relationships with friends like this, whether it's on or off YouTube. And that is a very big difference, a very long distance away from perfection. You have these two extremes, and then you have everything in between. So I fall with the everything in between. Not this red carpet, we're rolling it out and you're so perfect and everything is perfect about my life. Never said that. But this is a very extreme example of degradation. The supposed husband is calling the wife a white girl, and this is a person who swears up and down she's black or Native American. I don't know, whatever. But definitely doesn't consider herself white. You do the math on that. These subjects are extremely angry, and let me make it clear, I don't carry that anger. That anger comes from a place that I have nothing to do with, and I refuse to internalize it. So that is why when these names are called, people come, I don't care about anything like that. It doesn't even matter. At one point in life, say for example, at one point you considered me to be a person that you thought differently about. I consider it to be good riddance if someone decides suddenly they're going to start talking shit about me when they said nice things about me. I would consider that a thank you very much. I would consider that, yes, I'm glad you revealed yourself out in the open what you were showing to other people, that obviously you're willing to show it to me. To me, I don't consider that a loss. I consider that a gain. What am I losing if a person suddenly comes out and starts talking shit about me? I don't value someone who thinks degrading me is going to put me in my place. You're not going to put me in my place. How are you going to put me in my place? It's not possible. I already started shifting my mindset on this subject when he came after my friend Gerald for no reason. Think about this. The supposed issue was Gerald was in a chat where he had a moderator blocked. And this set off this person, right? But this person who consider that disrespectful is up here rocking with folks who put his business in the street, all the way in the street. It's hypocrisy. It was a bunch of bullshit. But let me tell you the reason why it went down. There is this element of guilt that this subject has to try and placate. And he does it by going along with this supposed wife's troublemaking bullshit. That's exactly what it is. That's the only reason why it went down. Yes, that's a reason to go off on somebody because they blocked a mod who is a liar, who tried to start shit behind the scenes at the behest of the troublemaker, and Gerald wasn't having it. So it's disrespectful to block this mod and come into this chat. But the dude is rocking with folks who have talked so much mad shit about him, his family, his kids, and put his business in the street. It's nothing but a bunch of bullshit hypocrisy. This is why it doesn't even bother me. How is it going to bother me that a hypocrite who turned out to be a phony is talking shit about me? It's of no consequence to me. It's not going to change a single thing about my life in any way. I'm not missing anything that it didn't have before. I'm not compromising myself. I don't internalize people's statements about me. When you have situations like this, at a time I thought differently about this person because the person acted in a different way. There were some signs, but here is how I was brought up. My upbringing is going to take priority. I wasn't brought up in a family where men just suddenly start attacking women for no reason. If they came after us, they came after us hard and strong because they had a reason to do it. Not just because some bullshit or some lies. And I will reinforce what I've stated 100 times over. Never did I ever get punished, me or my siblings, for something we didn't do. It didn't matter how atrocious the lie was, because yes, they always try to blame the families that have more kids in them because you're standing around watching whatever go down and everybody starts running. Oh, your kids were there. Because we were never alone. We were never out solo. At least 3 or 4 of us out of 8, we were together. But our dad never punished us because someone said we did something. And we never lied about it. We were there watching, which we shouldn't have been doing. You're going to get enough of that one day, standing around watching this mess. But what kid wants to run off when stuff is going down? You want to see what everybody else sees. But you're not going to punish me for anything. You're not going to make me feel less about myself. You're not going to make me feel disrespected. I'm not going to feel any of those things because I look at you in a different way. I don't feel the same way about you either. So it's even Steven. It's guilt. This troublemaking spouse likes to try to lay guilt on folks. It doesn't work on me. It works obviously on the supposed husband because she thinks there's a lot to be guilty about. And she's come online and disclosed that. Yeah, that's how she punishes her supposed husband, by telling his business. And I think that is the most disrespectful type of spouse that you can have. If you're going to disclose stuff like that, in my personal opinion, it should be in a divorce filing. It shouldn't be coming on here to YouTube, jumping in chats, or crying to Max V and trying to get the smoke to serve as a stand-in. Right, you can hear it now. Trashing people who are single or divorced, however you want to put it, however the process came about. Put up a poll and ask people, would you rather have a spouse who comes onto YouTube and tells your business and talks about your dirty dealings, or single and free? Ultimately, people make their own decisions, but there's a troublemaking alleged spouse that's always behind stuff like this. And if the husband feels so guilty that he feels for other things, this is what he has to do to appease the supposed spouse. Okay, fine. We're not going to have any part of it. Not on that level. In no way do we feel deprived because we don't come out and say the same things that they do, to act the way that they do, to engage in this grand scale protected class attacks. We don't feel deprived. There can be a ton of things going on, doesn't mean I have to react to any of it, and I won't. I'm going to come back and deal with situations and speak on issues on my terms and on my timeline. Folks, you know I have more coming your way. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.